Hi, how's your dog doing? Linus dreams of being disciplined enough to learn a language. He works hard and builds it up. He even gets there after 10 or 20 years. But now he doesn't even enjoy language learning, even though he knows it's good for him. Marcus Aurelius has discipline, but also loves doing good habits like language learning because he's built up the motivation for it as well. So if you're into acquiring skills of any kind, maybe a polymath or a polyglot of some kind, you'll probably hear a lot that discipline is what matters, not motivation. And I've definitely thought that way as well. I was disciplined enough to do something, say exercising, but I didn't exactly enjoy doing it. Sure, I could do it, and I knew it was good for me, but I had no fun doing it. The only solace I had was knowing that it would be good for me in the future. Which is good, but sometimes you need something in the present. What many people seem to say is that only discipline matters. And that's just not true. Discipline is the most important thing you can develop when getting into any habit or practicing any skill, such as language learning. But it's not the only thing you need. Discipline is what we need, and motivation is what we want. Motivation makes whatever task you're doing more fulfilling. When you're there studying a language and you're motivated, you're not just doing it because you know it's going to be good for you. You're doing it because you enjoy doing it. Now, maybe the reason why you enjoy doing it can be partially because you know it's good for you, but you enjoy doing it nonetheless. And again, that is not to say that discipline is not an important thing. I talk about discipline a lot in my videos. I talk a lot about how you need the discipline to learn a language. However, motivation makes the process all the more fun, because you can just sit there studying and smiling. You can sit there reviewing vocabulary, writing in your language journal, speaking. You can sit there with a smile, enjoying what you're doing and knowing it's going to benefit you in the future. You can smile when you sit there talking to somebody, knowing that you're getting some practice in and you're connecting with another human being. So, we want motivation, but first you need to cultivate discipline. So, if you have, we can continue. If you haven't, make sure to do that, as I have mentioned that in many other videos. So what we need to do is we need to find ways to be motivated to do something. Pretty simple, right? Well, there are a couple of things we can do for this. The first one, which you might think is a little unexpected, but I'll explain in a second, is gratitude journaling. Now, how could this help us? When you write down that you're grateful for something, you can write down that you're grateful for an activity that you're doing, like language learning. I am so grateful that learning another language has granted me the ability to learn more about another culture. Or I am so grateful for all the friends I've made by learning this language. Or you can just say, I'm grateful for language learning in general. It doesn't have to be specific benefits that you've got. Now, continuing with this, it's thinking of the benefits. When you're sitting there doing it, just think, well, in a couple of months, I'll be able to speak to people that I've never been able to talk to before. I'll be able to read texts in another language I've never been able to read before. I'll be able to appreciate great works of literature and art in a completely different language. This will change my mind and my life. And finally, the one that I think is the most interesting is finding rewards that complement the activity. And a lot of people will tell you that rewarding yourself is not good. I think it can be, but the problem is that the way most people reward themselves either counteracts the progress that they've been making, or it's completely unrelated to what they're doing. For example, if someone's trying to diet, what most people do for rewarding themselves is having a cheat day. It counteracts the progress that they've made. Something like a monetary reward is very similar as well, because you're not actually appreciating the activity for something relating to it. You're appreciating it for what it gets you out of something else, if that makes sense. You're not appreciating the activity for the things that it gets you. You're appreciating the activity because it gets you something completely unrelated and different. It has nothing to do with the activity itself. This can manifest itself in jobs as well. Some people just do jobs because it makes money, but they don't actually enjoy the thing itself. What would be an example of a reward that complements the activity? If you're language learning, go find someone to talk to. Go to a Discord server. Try reading a new text. Buy yourself a new book in that language. Maybe if you're exercising a lot, go to the beach. Show off your new body. I don't know. If you're going on a diet, make a really delicious meal that's healthy for you. You can indulge and take a couple of hours to make it instead of having to make it a little bit more quickly. You need rewards that complement the activity, so that way it's within the same space in your mind. Like, it occupies the same space. So when you make a new friend through a language, making that new friend will be almost inseparable from learning the language itself. So you will learn to like language learning. Now, sure, it's kind of tricking your brain into liking it, but it still produces the same result in the end. You will enjoy the activity. So by combining all of these, you can get yourself the motivation to learn languages and not just the discipline. Like I said earlier, when you're just disciplined, sure, you can do it regardless of your feelings, but isn't it a lot better to also enjoy what you're doing and not just doing it because you get some benefit out of it? That's pretty much the exact same thing as doing a job you hate because it makes money. You should be present and enjoying what you're doing at all times if possible. Alright, so I hope that video was helpful. I know a lot of people want more editing in these videos, but the way I see it, I'm getting more content out, and the real value of these videos comes from the educational part, what I'm teaching you and telling you, rather than from the little stuff like editing. Like, I'm not saying that it's useless, but I think most of the value comes just from me speaking. So if I can do more of that, I'm actually providing more value to the channel and getting more videos out. So hopefully that's fine. I mean, I know it's not as nice to look at when there's not as much editing, but my intention is that you could just listen to this while you do something else, or listen to this while you're eating and you're focusing more on the food rather than what you're listening to or watching. That'd be great. Not that these videos aren't meant to be watched, that's why I put stuff on the screen anyway, but you don't have to watch them. It's not necessary. Like, I could technically make this a podcast if I really wanted to. Alright, I hope this video was helpful. If there's anything relating to this you'd want to bring up, please bring that up in a comment. Yeah, that sounds like it's about all. Alright, tell your dog I said hi.